All right, it's October 18th. It's 5:10 p.m. in the evening, and that means I've got about an hour of work that could be done out here, and I'm hoping I can get a substantial amount done, but I doubt it. This is going to take a couple of days again, and it might actually take a whole week. But there's a lot to do here. As you can see here, this area you saw in the last video that we cut all this stuff, and look, it's already growing back really quickly. So we've got all this tall stuff, all of this, with the exception of everything under this tree, because there's actually rocks in there that I don't want to run into. But we will be coming down through this way, and as you can see here, I'm going to hold the camera right about where at my waist, so you can see how high this stuff is. And I know it looks like nothingness down there, but that's actually my little garden down in that area. And I don't see any type of garden down there. All I see is bushes. So I'm gonna have to cut all this stuff down, and it goes down quite a ways, maybe about 150 feet down that way. And this should be a path that goes down, and my garden is right here. If you see this tree here, my garden is over here on the left side, and it goes down in the same direction. But like I said, this stuff is totally overgrown, and this is going to be a huge job, but it has to be done. So let's get to it. All right, so as I was cutting, this is obviously the next day, but as I was cutting there, I remembered there was something I had to do, and that was load some logs into a bin that needs to get picked up. So we'll do a brief intermission on the cutting here, and we'll switch over to do some loading work with the excavator. So get that done and come back, and hopefully have a pretty good amount of time to continue to do this cutting. All right, so we've got the bin filled right there, and we're gonna go on ahead and head back and get all this cutting done as fast as we can. so it's day 3 of this video, cutting this area. The other video kind of fell short and cut off because the battery died, and it's a good thing I finished shortly after that. Otherwise I would have missed a whole lot of stuff that I'd been doing. But as you can see up here, right in this area is where we stopped last time, and you can kind of see right down through there, and that's where we got to continue cutting down in. So we'll go ahead and move up there. Actually, it is October 22nd today, so day 3, October 22nd. Let's get back to it. All right, so it's October 23rd, 2021. And if I recall correctly, I think it's been almost a week, maybe 5 or 6 days now that I've been working on this on and off. But each day I've given it less than an hour's of time worth of work. So today I have about 2 hours, so I should be able to get all this stuff here done. It doesn't really show here on the camera how much there is, just by looking at all of this right here, but hopefully you can tell when I walk through it just how much work this is to get done, because all this grass, super tall, and the Weedeater string just continuously breaks. So you're probably gonna see me here stop a couple times and re-spool the Weedeater head. So without explaining any more of it, let's get back to it. Day 4. Some of the stuff out here is too long to cut with the Weedeater, so we're gonna go ahead and use this little guy to go ahead and cut the rest of it. Let's get to it. All right, here we are at pretty much the beginning of where we started. Actually, we started right where I'm standing. But this stuff here is too thick for the Weedeater, so I'm gonna have to do it by hand. And this is the stuff I was talking about here. So let's go ahead and get it done. All right, well, about 10 seconds into hacking into that stuff with the sickle, I started bending the blade. So a machete would be better off, but we'd have to have a really, really sharp one to get this stuff cut down with. I could use the loppers, but that would take forever. So I'm gonna go ahead and cheat this one and use the excavator and just kind of scrape this stuff away. So let's go get the excavator and get this done before sundown. All right, so it's kind of hard to see, but hopefully the excavator light shows you just a little bit of what I did there. We'll come back tomorrow to go ahead and do the walkthrough, so we can really take a better look at everything that's been done with this little this run. All right, it's October 25th, 2021, and it has officially been a week since we started this video. And as you can see up here, all this dry grass is the area that was first cut. And like I said, this is where we started. So this took longer than I really wanted it to take, but in the beginning of the video I mentioned that it'll probably take a week. So it actually did take a week. Although I didn't work every single day of the week, I put on maybe 4 days of work, and this is day 5 of actually coming back to it. And we don't have to do anything today. I'm just going to do the walkthrough to show you everything that we've done here. So this is where we started, and it actually turns right here, and we go down a little ways. So we'll go ahead and move up there and look down the other way. And here we are, looking down the path we actually cut all the way down through. I'm not sure if you can quite see it on the camera there, but it goes all the way down, like I said, about 150 feet. It's actually probably about 200 feet down in that direction. But up here is the area that I mentioned before, where all this tall grass was blocking the view of that area there, and that's my garden. So that'll be the next project that I do a video on. But as for now, we're just working here on this path, this little access path right here. All right, so as you can see here, this is where I was on the last day working with the excavator, and I kind of graded this just a little bit because we have a four-wheeler cart out here, and it makes it easy for it to climb up right about here. And it kind of goes down that way along to that path, and the same thing I did here I did over on that end as well. So sometimes it rains really hard and it tends to really flood up this sunken in area here. But continuing on down this way, there's all our lovely tools. You can see here, this stuff looks like some crazy tall grass, but a lot of this is actually sugarcane. This right here isn't sugarcane, but this here is. And it might be difficult for you to tell the difference, but it actually, you can kind of tell here. You see how thin this is? That's not sugarcane. And then you see this thick stuff here, totally sugarcane. Although when you look up top, it's barely noticeable, the difference between the two. But like I said, you can always tell from the stalks. And we came on down this way. Look at that. Bananas got so heavy, it just broke off right there. And you have that banana bunch that isn't quite ready for harvesting yet. So I'm gonna have to try and prop that up and hope it gets a little bit more mature. If it doesn't, oh well, we'll just try again another time. But as I said before, this area on this side, which is the left side, here we are looking back, all of this right here is my little garden area. And that's what's going to be done next here. This just allows us to access that area and actually be able to breathe coming through, because all of this was grass. This big pile here in the middle, I'm going to use the machine to kind of pull that stuff apart, because it's actually a small mound and it's got some rocks in there. It's a small mound, and I actually want to break that stuff down, wait a little bit, and I'm going to plant some random plants on top of it if I get the opportunity to. But it actually circles around and comes back around this way. So we go this way, come around this big pile, and we come right back to where we're standing. And that's just the way I cut it in the video. I don't know if it's that noticeable, but that's what we did. So we came on down this way. Like I said, this area, as you can see, it's more sunken down than this berm right here. And like I said, it does tend to fill up with rain when the rains really get to the point where it's pouring. Here we are circling around. And I didn't cut some of this stuff off just to keep it as like a little barrier to separate that mulch right there from this area down here. We come back around this way. Here's the big pile I was talking about. And we pretty much just circle all the way back. Come right back to the path and straight back down to where we started, which is all the way over there. So, like I said, this stuff is really long, and it does take a toll on the Weedeater, but that piece of equipment is about $140, which is a great investment, and I'm happy I bought it because it does the job out here. It does enough of a job to help me out here. See, all this kind of stuff here that I've missed is no big deal because I'll just come back and cut it back down. But that's pretty much it for this video. We're gonna cut it here, and we'll be on to the next one here very shortly because I'll probably be starting it tomorrow. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.